Hey, this is Rachel over at Moonlight Library. Welcome to my channel. We're going to be ranking and recommending books to Stranger Things characters. Do-do-do-do. No, that's X-Files. Do-do. Okay, so we're not going to try and recreate the theme song because I don't got it. I'm wearing a Star Trek shirt. Wow, a lot of creatures. So I'm going to talk about 16 characters that I've given 16 book recommendations to, and I'm ranking them from least to most liked. I think this might become a thing, so let me know if you're interested, and suggest some other shows you want me to recommend characters to, or movies. If you haven't already subscribed to me before, if you're new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe if you are new here. Like I just said. So let's start with my least liked character. I feel like it needs a little explainer. I'm so sorry. Well, maybe not an explainer, more so an apology. I am sorry. My least liked character is, very sadly, it is 11. 11 is the worst character on the show. 11 is like super whiny and annoying and talks like a baby, and she's a little too old for that. Maybe it's personal reasons. I don't like 11. Also, her arc in season 4, super like, what are you even doing here? You know, like, oh, you poor thing, and then, oh, we'll show you you're still important. That's how I feel. So what we're going to recommend to 11 is a book I just read. It's called Heaven by Mieko Kawakami. Heaven is about 2 middle school students in Japan who are dealing with bullying, as 11 was, and how they kind of learned about themselves and their feelings and... You know, I think she probably needs that. I think she needs someone else who has experienced being an outsider and listening to what they have to say. I mean, obviously it's fiction. I'm talking as if these were real students. I think she needs someone else's story, and that would help her significantly. Sounds like this is a children's book. It is not. It's very much so an adult book with adult content. So there you go, 11. I hope you're okay, and I hope that you get better at not being so annoying. Okay, number 15. This is an obvious one as well to me because you don't know me. It's Jonathan. Jonathan is another one that is kind of the worst. He is also very mopey, and he has this like look about him that he's like all the time. He's kind of sad, so I'm going to recommend a sad book to him, and also a book that might be intriguing, kind of weird. It's a graphic novel. It's called Black Hole by Charles Burns. It is very teenage too. It's something that I don't think he's going through because Nancy doesn't love him anymore. You know, Black Hole is about these teenagers that are kind of spreading this very weird STD. It is depressing, it is sad, it is fucking weird, and I think he would enjoy the journey, the strangeness, and relate to how just like the ennui of being a teenager. Jonathan? Sure. Number 14. You're gonna see a pattern here that I didn't really like the pizza people, as I call them, from season 4. Everyone that was in the pizza truck. Just, what the? Sorry. Woo. Okay, it's Mike. I'm sorry, I find this really funny, my hatred of... I don't hate them, they're just not the best characters. The story arc was just not very good either. So for Mike, what we're going to go ahead and recommend is Locke Key, and that is another graphic novel that's by Joe Hill. I just think that it's like a horror about this family that the father has just been murdered, and they go to live at Key House, and that is in Maine. It's like their mother's childhood home that her brother lives in, and there's all these like crazy keys that open doors and do crazy things. I think he'd enjoy it. Maybe he'd show him remind him of the adventures he had taken and show him what adventures could be to come. Because he had a very boring season. I'm sorry, Mike. I do like Mike. Like, I really do. I just think he was in a boring way. Maybe Locke Key would be good for him. Also, Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. Cool. Next up is, you can guess it, it's Will. Will was also pretty whiny this season. I mean, Will had more of a reason. Will's going through a lot. You know, I get that. He just had a boring story arc. Except for when, like, the FBI, when, like, the people raided the house, that was pretty, like, crazy. But, God, Will. So, I think he's had a hard time, and I know he's towards the bottom of my list, but that's just where he's sitting. I'm like, I actually have the book for this, or one of the books, because this is a series. Wayward Children's series by Seanan McGuire. This one is about these children who get sucked into magical worlds, and then they come back to the real world and have to go to this home to kind of adjust to real life, or because they will never be able to adjust to real life. And I think that's Will. Will went through a lot. He went through to a magical world, and now he is adjusting, or trying to. And he is just, like, struggling. And I think that this series could really help him to see other magical children who went to magical worlds that came back. And now they're adjusting. I think this book, this is the second book. There are about 7 in this series. There you go. Well, I think I really got you. I think I really got you. Next up, I had to throw Papa in here. Papa's number 12 on my list. And for Papa, why is he above all those other characters? Well, he's just, I like bad guys. I like bad guys. He's not the best bad guy, though. But I think that he could learn to be a better person. This isn't going to make much sense, but we'll see if I can explain this. It's It by Stephen King. I think that Papa could learn something by looking at these children and the horrors that they had to go through. And since he is a villain, like Pennywise, he can see, like, being a villain's fucking scary. And it's bad. It's a bad thing. And also, do you want to drive children to do weird things? Like, if you've read the end of this book, do you want to do that, Papa? Because that's fucking nasty. Stephen King, what was wrong with you? Anyways, Papa, you sure? You fucking sure? Okay. Just, yeah. Okay. Number 11, Joyce, the mother of Will and Jonathan. I love Joyce. Strong character. Strong. But, I don't know, sometimes I'm kind of like, Joyce, meh, whatever. We're choosing Blindness by Jose Saramago? Yeah. This is about a pandemic that happens that everyone goes blind. At first, all the blind people are being sent to these, like, kind of hospital-like things that are more, like, to keep them confined so they don't actually, like, or isolated so they don't infect anyone else. And this one woman pretends to have the blindness. And that's Joyce. She's a leader for people that are going through things. And I think that it would be good for her to read another strong woman. Blindness. Next up is our badass Murray. We love him. He's like, boom, 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 you know? He's like doing all that fighting and stuff. Great stuff. We love him. We're getting to the people that we really love. So, like, Joyce and On, I like these characters. Like, it was hard to put them in order. So for Murray, I want to say No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. Because that is like a badass motherfucker that is taking names and putting them on lists. It is like a new time Western and just badass dudes with guns. It's a bad explanation, but I feel like Murray would really enjoy it. It is like, I feel like also he could use a spy novel. I think a spy novel would be really good for him, but I don't have one. Number 9 is Nancy Wheeler. And for Nancy, we're going to choose Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is actually a series about this girl who goes to this boarding school, and she is like, really likes investigating things, and something happened at this boarding school a long time ago, and she is investigating it, and I feel like she is so fucking smart, Stevie Bell, and Nancy Wheeler would fucking love her. They are both smart, they're both getting shit done, and they are investigating. You know, Nancy with her little notes. Next up is Lucas. Well, first, I have the book that Lucas was reading at the end. I just bought it recently. I took a picture of it. My roommate was like, Rachel, that's a book Lucas was reading at the end of season 4 of Stranger Things. And I was like, really? And he was like, yes, the exact cover. And I'm like, okay, I want to read it. Also, I heard they're adapting it, the Duffer Brothers. So, hello. For Lucas, I'm going to say Hyperbole and a Half by Allie Brosh, because I think it would be good for him to learn about depression, to kind of more understand Max and like different like things that she's going through, because I had a hard time figuring out what to recommend to him. But I feel like this is a really good graphic novel, like memoir, short story, essay like thing that really would help him to understand Max, and that's a lot of him in season 4, other than him being a fucking asshole and wanting to be cool and popular. I hated that. And then he was okay again. I was like, at first I was like, he can fall in a ditch. Like, go fall in a ditch, Lucas, because I'm done with you. I am done with you. But he's okay now. He's okay now. Number 7 is Dustin. Woo! Love Dustin. You would think I would be recommending more fantasy here, but sadly I'm not. I'm so sorry. But for Dustin, I am, because I feel like Dustin needs some fantasy. Like, he loves fantasy. And so we have the 9 Princes of Amber by Roger Zelazny. This is actually all the books. I think it's all the books. I've only read the first one, so like that much. This book is a fantasy adventure, very D&D. Well, maybe not very D&D, but very like weird, and I don't know, sometimes it's a little trippy, but I think that Dustin would really appreciate it. And it's kind of, I feel like not many people have read this one, so here you go, Dustin. It is not Game of Thrones, and it is also not The Way of Kings, so not saying I don't like those. So for Erica, she's number 6. She is a badass little girl, and we love her. Yes. So for Erica, we're choosing You Are a Badass, because Erica, you are a badass, and you need to grow up knowing that you fucking slay. You are so cool, and you speak your mind, and you need to keep it up, and you just like keep going. Keep going. This is, I feel like she needs an empowerment book that's gonna lift her up and keep her going, because she sticks by her head, and we love you, Erica. Number 5. This is Robin. So Robin is so good. She came in season 2, 3, 2, I think it's 2, maybe 3. Anyway, she came in and she was like, I am a new fucking main character, like, and everyone's going to love me. And it's true. We love Robin. Robin is great. When she and Nancy, when they go and pretend to be grad students, it was fucking hilarious. It had me dying. So we're going to do We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan. Whoa, there's something inside of that. This book follows a field hockey team in the 80s. We got some representation here, right? And I just think some strong women that are doing weird shit, Robin's going to love it. Has movie qualities. It should be a movie. They're all witches and they are in a cult, and very weird. So for Hopper, this one's kind of obvious. I mean, it's not that obvious because I don't know how many people have read this, but I think I hit the nail on the head a little bit. So Escape from Camp 14. Hopper is also a badass. Like, everyone's a badass. We just know that. I can stop saying it. But he's a strong character, and everything he went through in Russia. Not my favorite plotline, but a very, like, you know, Hopper being Hopper. And I think Escape from Camp 14 is perfect for that, because This is about Shin, who escapes from North Korea, from one of the prison camps, one of the hardest prison camps. And he escaped. He's in America now. And that story is fucking nuts. It's a true story. And it's not written by him. Someone wrote it, like, not with him, but, like, interviewed him and wrote the story. And it is edge of your seat. Like, Max is having a hard time. We all know that. And we fucking love her. So I'm going to recommend Max Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Ninth House follows another girl that also has had a very hard time in her life, and she has to learn to be strong. That is not what this book is about. This is about a girl who goes to college or to Yale, and she ends up in the secret society where there's like magic and shit. But we're talking about the fact that she had a very hard life, and she's having to deal with some of the stuff that she's now in tune with, as Max is also dealing with things like that. So I think it's perfect. Alex Stern, Max, perfect. This was very hard, choosing between the two best characters. So number 2 came in this season, came in strong. Really hope he's not dead. Is Eddie. And Eddie is a beautiful boy that is so sweet. And oh my god, at the beginning where he's like with that one girl, Christy or whatever, and she's like, thought he was gonna be really mean, but he's just like giggling and laughing, and like his relationship with Dustin, and you're like, oh my god, you are the light of my life. So we know he's a fucking rocker. I could have picked a fantasy book for him too, but he's a rock star. We're choosing We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. A little bit of rock, a little bit of horror, a little bit of metal, and it's fucking perfect for him. That I literally described the book and him at the same time. So what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do but put all 3 of those together, and you have both this book and Eddie. He would love it. He would love it. Just, you know. Is that an explainer? No, but we're doing what we're doing. Number 1 is most obviously Mr. Steve Harrington. He's so nice. So Steve Harrington, I would recommend to him You Should Have Left by Daniel Kehlmann, because you need to get your fucking ass out of there. This is about this man who goes on vacation to this Airbnb with his family. It gets really bad, and he should have left. It's really short. But Steve learned a lesson. You need to get it. Like, when he went into the water, then he, like, into the upside down, and he got, like, in the stomach. You should have left. I need you to survive. So, my recommendation to you, Steve. So, that's all. I did a good amount of Stranger Things characters. I did 16. That's crazy. I can't believe I picked out 16 books. That was crazy. Recommend some books to characters as well in my comments, whatever you think these characters should read maybe. And also let me know if you have something that you want me to do, like recommending books to Bridgerton characters. I'm gonna do that one. Give me some ideas as to what you want to see, and if I've watched whatever it is, I'll recommend books to them. And that's it. Thank you. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.